Hey guys, Waterfowler41 here, and today we have an extremely exciting video. Not just because we're going to be installing running boards, but because we are debuting my new Ram Rebel. So I picked up a 2020 Ram Rebel to replace my 2014 GMC Sierra. Starting to have a bunch of transmission issues. It was getting to be the end of the year. So everything kind of fell into place, and I ended up getting a really good deal on the 2020 Rebel in the color that I wanted, outfitted exactly how I wanted. So a little dirty, but the black interior with the red inserts, absolutely love the truck so far. But when I bought it, it came missing a couple really key features. One being the tonneau cover, two being a spray and bed liner, and the third, particularly important when you got kids, running boards. So I reached out to the DeeZee team. I've always been eyeballing the NXT running boards. I like them because they're really low profile, and I've used DeeZee, this textured black finish in the past on aluminum parts. So I had running boards, I had the bumper guard on the GMC Sierra, as well as the bed rails, and the finish lasts. So this will outlast basically any finish on your truck. So these are their NXT running boards. These are aluminum flat running boards. I'm not going with the hoop step anymore on this truck. With this one, I want to keep everything high and tight to the truck to maintain that ground clearance that I have. So anyway, what do you get when you buy this for your truck? You get the running boards and you get the brackets. Now these running boards, I bought them in all black, but you can also get them in two other finishes. You can get them in all silver, or you can get them in a silver black combo. And I believe on the silver black combo, this is silver, and then the trim pieces as well as these rubber inserts are black. So anyway, what else comes in the kit besides the brackets and running boards? Obviously the nuts that will attach to factory mounting points, and then this die. So this is the first time that I've ever gotten a truck part where a die comes with it. And I was looking into it, and it actually makes a lot of sense why they give this to you in the kit. One of the first steps you do is you take this die and you run it down the threads on each of these mounting bolts. And the reason they have you do that is because from the factory, these are painted. So if you were to go through and mount the nuts and the running boards on here, eventually, because of how slick this paint's gonna be, it'll back itself off and the running board will basically fall off, or you're gonna run into issues with it loosening up. So what they have you do is take this thread or this die, put it on the threads, and then back it all the way down so you scrape that paint off so you get a nice clean surface to mount the bolts to. So the top is all black. Everything looks very nice, and the black has kind of a nice beveled look to it. Underneath, the running boards have aluminum channels. So basically you got these channels here, and you have bolts that are pre-mounted from the factory. So you got 3 on the top row and 3 on the bottom row. And what that allows you to do is when you go to mount the bracket, you pull 2 bolts down here, and then you run the bolts right through the bracket here, and then put the nut on there and tighten it down. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and take that die and run it down each of the 9 posts underneath the truck on this side, and I'll do it on the other side as well. That way we get the bolts prepped and ready to go for the nuts. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I went ahead and did 2 of the 3 bolts on the first bracket, and I just want to show you the difference it makes. So this bolt, I ran the die down to get all the paint off, as well as this one. Now this one I didn't do yet, but the reason why they have you do this is because if you look at it, there's a ton of paint on here. And this is pretty slick stuff. You may not think that it's gonna be slick once you get a bolt on there, but once this paint kind of starts to wear in and the bolt tries to bite down on the metal, it's gonna eventually slip off or work its way off after all the vibration. And this is a 1.25 M8 die that we're just basically putting on here, and then tightening down with a 1-inch socket just to clean off that paint. It's not cutting any threads, it's just cleaning the paint off. Whew, all right, we are done. Man, that is a wrist exercise. It's really easy to do, but it is hard on the wrist, doing that 9 times over and over again. So now we could go ahead and loosely install the brackets on here. So we're gonna get 3 brackets, 1 here, 1 in the middle, 1 at the front. We're gonna put 13mm nuts on there. Then we'll get the running board actually sitting on the brackets, and then we could tighten down the running board where we're at, and then we'll tighten down these nuts. That way everything's held in place nicely. So let's go ahead and get those brackets and get them installed. Okay, so about to get into putting the brackets on, but you gotta be careful with the brackets that you're using. So you have 3 right brackets and 3 left brackets. So the difference is this would be considered a left bracket. So if you're looking at it on how it would protrude out of the truck, the actual bracket for the running board is on the left, whereas the right bracket, the bracket for the running board is on the right. So on the driver's side, in the first and the second position, you're going to use the left brackets, which will basically push the brackets closer to the driver's side door, so it gives you more support on that front door. And then in the rear on the driver's side, you're going to use the right bracket, which gives you more support on the back. On the passenger side, you're going to flip it. You're going to use 2 rights and then a left. All right, so I got the brackets installed there. They're loosely tightened in there. One cool thing that I found out about these guys is when you put them on the truck, since the brackets themselves for the attachment to the truck are slotted, they give you about a 1/2 inch of play. So you could push them up for a higher running board mounting height, or you could lower them and you'll get basically a 1/2 inch drop on the running boards. So now the next step is to, and I don't believe it really matters what running board you use here, but we're going to take that paper that's just holding the bolts in place. We're going to spread out the bolts and basically just drop them in on here, use the other 13mm bolt nuts in the kit, and just tighten everything down. So like I said, I have these hand tight in there right now. They're not going anywhere. It's nice because these running boards are aluminum, so not much weight to them. So this should be pretty easy to pop them up in there. Okay, so I got the running board on there and I just learned a valuable lesson. So I did say earlier that the brackets allow some adjustment up and down. However, at least in my case, I have this cap behind the rear, or behind the front driver's side tire. That I need to have clearance, so I basically had to drop down the running board bracket all the way to its lowest setting so the front end of the running board could clear it. And I also had to pull the running board all the way out. So basically... All right, well, there you have it. The driver's side is fully installed. Took about 45 minutes to do, mostly because doing that dye on the painted bolts just to clean out the paint takes a little bit to do. But like I said, you put the brackets on first, then put the board onto the brackets, make sure everything's finger tight, and then basically you want to clear this little cap here on your ram. And then once that's clear, everything just kind of falls into place. So I had to bump the board back a little bit, which allowed me to take those brackets attached to the truck and move them up so I can get that board a little bit higher off the ground. But I'm pretty happy with them. So when you open the door, you got plenty of distance, or plenty of step to get in and out of the truck, which is exactly what I was looking for. And as far as the kids, they got plenty of room in the back to get up into their car seats. So now I don't need to lift them up anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and do the passenger side. But overall, very happy with how the running boards went on. Like I said, they're aluminum. So one thing to be very cautious about is these aren't made to be doing any crazy off-roading. So these are not rock sliders. Aluminum is lighter. It's a little bit more rust resistant and salt corrosion resistant. However, when push comes to shove versus steel, aluminum is going to bend a lot faster and it's going to give in. Other than that, thank you very much for watching my first Ram Rebel video on my channel. And I promise you, I have plenty more videos to come. I got mud flaps on the way, as well as rear wheel well liners, and possibly a few other little items that I'll be looking at for this truck. But again, debut of the 2020 Rebel. The 2014 GMC is no more on the channel, and now we have the Ram Rebel to play with. So thank you very much. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe below, and appreciate you guys taking time to watch this video. What better way to break them in than have my test subjects, basically the reason I needed running boards, try them out. So guys, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, hop in. One at a time. Get all the way in. Good job. You guys like them? You like them? Yeah? Ryder, you like them? Yep. All right, cool. Guys say, take it easy.